You are welcome to this lesson. I am Tr.Katimbo Richard, teaching mathematics. Today, I've come with a topic known as length, mass, and capacity. Length, mass, and capacity. And I will start by defining each, starting with length. The question is, what is length? Length is the linear extent in space from one end to the other. Therefore, being a linear extent in space from one end to the other, we measure it in metric units. For example, one can measure the length of a table by use of a meter roll. In this case, I've got a ruler. One can measure how long this table is. Look at the centimeter scale and then measure from here up to here. This is 100. Now, being 100, you label where 100 stops, and then measure the remaining part from where I've labeled. And this is 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 25 centimeters added to 100 measured before. You add and get 125 centimeters. So the length of this table is 25 centimeters. In that way, you have measured what's called length. So we use meters, things like kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters themselves, decimeters, such things like centimeters and millimeters. So long as it ends with the word meters, that is something to do with length. Whenever we hear meters, we shall then be talking about length. Then the definition of the word mass. What is mass? Mass is how heavy an object is. In the upper level, they will define it differently, but now at our level, we are talking about how heavy an object is, which is then measured in grams. Things to do with grams, that is kilograms, hectograms, decagrams, grams, decigrams, centigrams, milligrams. So long as it talks about grams, you will then be talking about mass. And then capacity. What is capacity? Capacity actually means volume in liters. When I say find the capacity of the tank, in this perspective, we shall be meaning how much water or any liquid that tank holds when completely full. That is what is called capacity. As I said, capacity has got other meanings, but now I've come specifically for this particular meaning, which means volume in liters. Now, among the three, in this lesson, we shall look at the length, which is the linear extent in space from one end to the other, as measured in meters. Now, at our level, we majorly focus on three kinds of shapes in length. So shapes to look at include a rectangle, a square, and a triangle. A rectangle, a square, and a triangle. When we look at the rectangle is of the shape you are actually seeing now. This is the shape which you ever name as a rectangle. Objects within your class that look like a rectangle, that are rectangular, are this board itself, this chalkboard is rectangular, so the shape like this, very shape going here. A book, the exercise book you have, is also rectangular. Even this ruler itself, it has got length and width. It's also rectangular, and so many other shapes or objects that you will have to mention. We shall then look at why this is called a rectangle. A rectangle is said to be a rectangle if the length is equal to another length. When this length is equal to another length, meaning this side is equal to this side. That's why I've got two things marked here to mean this side is equal to that side. As opposed to 1 here, this is called width. So this L means length and W means width. So when width is equal to width and length is equal to length, and it's a four-sided polygon drawn in this nature, you name it length. Now, we shall later know how to find the area and perimeter of this rectangle. And now, when one is asked for the area of a rectangle, one will multiply length and width. So area of a rectangle equals length times width. Area of a rectangle equals length times width. The word area itself means a region. So a region covered by polygon is called area. So, like this board is covering a particular part of this wall, where it is, you cannot see its behind. So you cannot see the wall behind it. So it is covering that region. So that's the area covered by this board, the chalkboard. Then you will then be asked for the perimeter of the same rectangle. You must know what perimeter means. Perimeter is the total distance around any given shape. Total distance around any given shape. In that way, we look at the given rectangle and move around. We named this side length, this is width, this is length, this is width. That is why the perimeter of a rectangle equals length plus width plus length plus width. The fact being that perimeter means total distance around any given shape, it's formed by addition around a given shape. So we add. We say perimeter of a rectangle equals length plus width plus width. There are other three formulae that are actually designed from this main one, where one will actually formulate different formulae from this very one by saying perimeter equals length plus width. Then another one can say perimeter equals 2 length plus 2 width. Like you see, there are 2 lengths here and 2 widths. Then finally, someone can also say perimeter of a rectangle is equivalent to 2 into length plus width. All of which are born of this very one, where it is actually a journey around this polygon called a rectangle, where just go length plus width plus length plus width, like the perimeter definition suggests. I say perimeter is total distance around any given object, meaning you add around that object without omission, and in so doing, you will have got perimeter. So when one asks for the total distance around a given object, then mathematically do you interpret it as perimeter. Don't say total distance equals, no, just say perimeter equals, then follow that formula, or any of the other three that are actually formulated from this one. Then we shall look at a square. This is a square. A square is a four-sided polygon with all sides equal. A square is a four-sided polygon with all sides equal. Now, how do we know that all sides are equal to know or name it a square? You will look at these marks here. We have marked, but this time round we have marked 1, 1, 1, 1 around. Whereas for a rectangle, we had 2, 2, and here 1, 1. Meaning these are equal on their own as well as this width. But here, each of the sides is equal to the other. So the side is equal to the side, is equal to the side, is equal to the side. In that perspective, or in that regard, wherever you see a four-sided polygon that looks like this, you name it a square. Now, a square, being that all sides are equal, is actually found the area using this formula. That is, area of a square equals side times side, as opposed to the rectangle where you say length times width. Here, you can hardly identify which is length or width. That's why the mathematicians opted to calling it side. So each side is named as side just. So area equals side times side. And now, when one asks you for perimeter, that's distance around this square. Now that has got all the four sides equal, so perimeter of a square is equal to 4s, where s stands for the side, so perimeter of a square is equal to 4 sides. 4 sides. So that is how we find the area and perimeter of this shape. Then we look at a triangle. A triangle is a three-sided polygon. A triangle is a three-sided polygon. That's why I've got 1, 2, 3 sides. Now, whenever you see a three-sided polygon, like this one, name it a triangle. There is no problem or offense you have committed because of naming it a triangle. Then one will ask you to find the area of any three-sided polygon. You have baptized the triangle. You say area equals a half times base times height. Sometimes the height is called perpendicular height. So don't fight someone that writes PH, which means perpendicular height. But at our level, let's just call it height. So a half times base times perpendicular height. This is the base where B is, and this is the height, which is sometimes known as perpendicular height. So a half times base times perpendicular height is equal to area of a triangle. Then find the road distance around any triangle. Being three-sided, you write side plus side plus side. So perimeter or distance around any given triangle equals side plus side plus side. Just like that, you will be successful. We majorly look at all three shapes in this class about length, that is a rectangle, a square, and a triangle. Don't say that the rest are not asked, but majorly do we look at all three. And now we have gone to the application of the explanation teacher has so far made by giving us different examples which, when understood, you will be able to answer and apply all the knowledge teacher has given you today about length. And now you are advised to follow these examples so that you are successful at this level. Example number 1 says, find the area of the shapes below. Find the area of the shapes below. Like we have identified the shapes, look at the four-sided polygon given here, look at the properties, please study accordingly, then identify which of the shapes, this is, meaning among the shapes teacher has described today. As I see, this is a four-sided polygon, whereby this side is called this side, and this side is called this side. When teacher was explaining, he identified this to be a rectangle. And now, the question asks for the area. As we said, area of any rectangle equals width. Now, area equals 10 meters times 7 meters, where 10 times 7 gets 70. And meter times meter is meter to power 2, or meter squared, or meter index 2. So area equals 70 meters squared. Whatever I've written here must be written. So when you say 70 meters alone, you will be wrong. You must multiply 10 by 7 as well as meter by meter, where 10 times 7 gets 70, and meter by meter you get meter squared. So area equals 70 meters squared. In so doing, you have answered and have learned how to answer the area of any given rectangle, given length and width, and you actually put the square. And again, one must note that these are meters, the units must be maintained. You have a tendency of converting to centimeters, thinking that the examiner will ever be setting in centimeters. Please mark the units that are in question, so must you use them to answer in a given number. So these are meters, so do you maintain them and then put squared as a result of multiplying meter by meter. Then example of part B about area. Find the area of this shape. Now identify the shape so that you can get a correspondent formula of finding that shape's area. So we see that this is a four-sided polygon where they have marked here 1, 1, 1, 1 around, meaning all sides are equal. Then this shape is actually a square. If it is a square with each side measuring 12 centimeters, then we can proceed on to finding the area. Area of a square, as I said before, is equal to side times side, whereby each side measures 12 centimeters. Area equals 12 centimeters times another 12 centimeters. Now, if you don't know table 12, what you do is to do what's called part of work, sometimes referred to as side work. So multiply 12 times 12, meaning a 2-digit numeral by a 2-digit numeral. So do multiply 2 by 2, get 4, 2 by 1, and get 2, then go 1 times 2, get 2, 1 times 1, you get 1, then do the addition. Here 4 plus nothing, write a 4, 2 plus 2, you get a 4, and 1 written down. That's 12 times 12 is 144. And then centimeter times centimeter, you get centimeters squared. So therefore, area of this given shape identified to be a square is 144 centimeters squared. Please ensure you know the properties of each shape so that one is not mistakenly taken to be the other. Then go to part C. Find the area of the shape in C. This is a 3-sided polygon, as I see, with a base of 10 centimeters and a perpendicular height or a height of 6 centimeters. Now, we said any 3-sided polygon is known as a triangle. Now, find the area of a triangle with base 10 centimeters and height 6 centimeters. You say area equals a half times base times height. Area equals a half times 10 centimeters times the height of 6 centimeters. And now you are going to divide or to cancel. 2 divided by 2, you get 1. 6 divided by 2, you get 3, thereby remaining with 10 centimeters times 3 centimeters, where 10 times 3 you get 30, and centimeter times centimeter, 1 gets centimeters squared. So area of this triangle is equal to 30 centimeters squared. So majorly number 1 was about finding the area of those 3 shapes we actually dealing with today, that is rectangle, square, and the triangle. And so doing, if you have been following, you'll be able to answer any question concerning any area asked for any of the 3 shapes. We shall then resort to number 2 and see what it brings to us. And it reads, find the perimeter of the shapes below. Find the perimeter of the shapes below. As I said before, perimeter means total distance around any given shape. And now, the first shape given in A is again a rectangle, but remember this time round, you are asked to go around it, meaning find a distance around it, called perimeter. It has got a length, when you study, it has got a length of 6 centimeters and a width of 4 centimeters. Then you say perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So that's why you state in that way, that perimeter is called length plus width plus length plus width. Now, perimeter equals 6 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 6 centimeters plus 4 centimeters. This is what is written here. And now, for easy addition, put this in brackets so that first add the first 2 and then add the next 2. To have all the 2 things in the next step to be added. That is 6 centimeters plus 4 centimeters in brackets, you get 10 centimeters, and another 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters added to get 10 centimeters. So these 2 10s have come from time here. This is what's called associative property when you reach P6. But now, here pair. Let us use the word pair. So pair this and pair those ones. So I've got 2 pairs. To have 6 centimeters plus 4 centimeters, which is 10 centimeters, and another 10 centimeters out of the addition. Now, 10 plus 10, 1 gets 20. Then this is addition, remember, centimeter plus a centimeter remains centimeter, not squared like it was in area. So perimeter or distance around this shape called a rectangle is of 10 centimeters. And then go to B, find the distance around this shape. As I said before, this is a 4-sided polygon with all sides equal, then it is a square. We said perimeter of a square, we said perimeter of a square equals 4 less. We said perimeter of a square equals 4 equal sides. So perimeter equals 4 times each side. Remember, each side measures 11 meters. These are meters, please, this time. So 4 times each side, which measures 11 meters. So you say perimeter equals 4 times 11 meters, thereby getting 44 meters. For perimeter, you must never put squared. Please note that. For perimeter, leave the units as they are and don't put squared. So perimeter is equal to 44 meters. Then find the distance around this shape in C. It's actually again a triangle. Which triangle has got this and this? So meaning these 2 sides are equal. And remember, triangle, tri means 3, and therefore it is of 3 angles and 3 sides. So this side was not given, but they intended not to write it here. It was given indirectly for they put for you that this side is equal to that side. Whenever you find this kind of triangle, you just know this triangle is called an isosceles triangle. It's called an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle. The word spelled here, isosceles, is I-S-O-S-C-E-L-O-E-S. That's the word isosceles. And it's subject to knowledge that isosceles is not actually part of our answering. It's part of the study. Study and answer accordingly. Please always study. This is an isosceles triangle Y, so two of the sides or two of the three sides are equal. Now, the task ahead of you is to transfer 4 centimeters here. Whenever you see these kind of marks or markings like this, please transfer accordingly so that you have got two common 4s. That is, this side is of 4 centimeters as well as the other one. As I said, we find the perimeter by adding around. So say perimeter is equal to side plus side plus side. Perimeter equals 4 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 8 centimeters. Doesn't matter where you start from, one can say 4 centimeters plus 8 centimeters plus 4 centimeters. Another one can start with 8. Perimeter is equal to 8 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 4 centimeters. But my example, I opted for starting with the 4, these two 4s. You say it, perimeter is equal to side plus side plus side. Perimeter is equal to 4 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 8 centimeters. Again, pair to first add these two 4s, where 4 plus 4 get 8. So 4 centimeters plus 4 centimeters get 8 centimeters plus another 8 centimeters. So 8 plus 8, you find out when you actually adding, you get 16 centimeters. So the distance around this shape, which is a triangle, is 16 centimeters. In so doing, we have learned how to find the distance around the three shapes in question today. That's a rectangle, a square, and a triangle. We are still talking about the length. I said whenever you hear about, here, somebody talking about meters, in the form of meters, centimeters, kilometers. So just know one is actually talking about the length. Then we shall look at what number 3 has for us. It says, study the figure below and answer accordingly. Study the figure below and answer accordingly. Now, this is the figure which is brought to you, which doesn't look like any of the shapes I've so far talked about. When you count its sides, it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Which 6-sided polygon is not yet talked about, and yet teacher told us we are only dealing with a rectangle, a square, and a triangle. How then did he bring in this one? Please don't worry. You will see your rectangle, square come out later. Now, the question A reads, find its perimeter, meaning move around it through addition. Add around this shape. So, meaning I will move from here. I chose to start from where 10 is. This is 10 plus 5 plus 5. Unfortunately, this person or the examiner did not bring us the length of this side. It is missing. I'm seeing the 4, I'm seeing the 10, the 5, the 5. But I don't have this, and perimeter means total distance around a given polygon without an omission. So don't omit this. Never just say, after all, the examiner did not bring it, so I'm relieved. I'll just add 5 of them, please. Add all the 6 sides, for it means total distance around a given shape. Meaning, if you are starting from here, you must come back there. Meaning, you have moved around. So, flat, 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 flat. 6 times. That's 10 meters plus 5 meters plus 5 meters. Plus what you must find here. You must find it. Plus here, plus here. So don't add before you ensure that all sides are known. Now, what should we then do? What you must do is to get a ruler. Get a ruler and complete this part here. In so doing, you will have got 2 shapes out of one figure. You name one A and name the next B. If you have been following properly, you will find out that we have gone in the form of a rectangle and a square. So, figure A moves all the way like this. It is 10 by 4 meters. 10 meters by 4 meters. The length is 10 meters and the width is 4 meters. So that shape that is of 4 sides that has got two equal lengths and two equal widths, then it is termed as a rectangle. And now we've got shape B. If we happen to hide this one so that we don't think about it, you will see 5 meters by 5 meters. So meaning here all sides are equal. That shape with all sides equal is called a square. So meaning this one is 5 here, this is also 5, so it's a square. So the whole shape of 6 sides has been cut into 2 other minor shapes. That's a rectangle and a square. That brings back the idea of what teacher is teaching today. Teaching about 3 shapes of rectangle, square, and triangle. It's a triangle that is unfortunate for this shape, for it was not served. So it has served a rectangle and a square. Now, what do we then do? The mission is not yet accomplished. We wanted to find how long this unknown side is. Now, what should we then do? We said a rectangle is that 4-sided polygon. Remember, all 4-sided polygons are enclosed in a name called quadrilateral. We've got around 6 quadrilaterals, among which is a rectangle and a square. So now, this is a rectangle. Why rectangle? The length is equal to length and the width is equal to width. If that is true, we know that the length is 10 meters. It means the whole of this is as well 10 meters. But remember, this is a square, whereby this side can be brought here as 5 meters, whereby this is 5 and this is 5. And remember, the whole of it, or the whole of this side is 10. Meaning from here up here is 5. Now, how then do we get the other part? If the whole of this is equal to the whole of this, meaning if the length is 10, the whole length is 10. And now part of 10 is 5. What about the upper? So that's why you put a side work here and subtract. The whole of this being 10, that is minus the 5 down, that is in meters, and get 5 meters. That's when you write the 5 meter length. Having done that, you will then resort to finding the distance around this object called perimeter. Now that it has got 6 sides, when we count again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You write different or 6 different S. Write S 6 times. You say perimeter is equal to side plus side plus side plus side plus side plus side. Ensure you don't go beyond or less than NS. Count together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count again so that you are sure that all the sides are catered for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Had they been 4, you would write side plus side plus side 4 times. So now there are 6, and then you fill in accordingly. And again, you start anywhere you feel like. I chose to start with this side. So perimeter is equal to 10 meters, that's 10 here. Then plus 5 meters, I'm moving around. Plus another 5 meters, I'm moving around. Plus another 5 meters that have been hidden. Then plus 4 meters. Then finally the journey is back from where we started. That is 10 meters. So we add around and ensure all the lengths of each side have been entered here. So count them and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 10, 5, 5, 5, 4, and 10. So I say it is according to your wish. You can start with 4 and go around like that, so as long as you don't skip any. So 4 meters plus 5 meters plus 5 meters plus 5 meters plus 10 meters plus 10 meters. You can start from here and go around. So long as you go around, ensure every dimension or every length of each side here is actually catered for. And now you are going to pair, like we said, for easy addition. pair 10 meters and 5 meters, meaning put them in brackets for each addition. Then pair 5 and 5, pair 4 meters and 10, then you add 10 plus 5 is 15, they are both meters, and then 5 meters plus 5 meters you get 10 meters, 4 meters plus 10 meters you get 14 meters. And now pair again for each addition. Now I've got 15 meters plus 10 meters, add well and get 25 meters, then bring the 14 here that was not paired, because I did not have any pair, and then add accordingly. So I've got 25 plus 14. So 25 plus 14, where you can put the side work and add well, you get 5 plus 4, you get 9, and 2 plus 1, you get 3. So distance around this figure is 39 meters. But what we did first is to find this unknown 5 meters, without which we wouldn't get that 39. And others that may be careless, at least not you that's watching me, would not care about the unknown side. So that unknown side is very relevant, very important. You must then find it. Then part B, find the area of the whole figure. Find the area of the whole six-sided figure. Now, this is where you are going to identify the shapes out of the whole figure. The whole figure is composed of a rectangle and a square, whereby the rectangle has got a length of 10 meters and a width of 4 meters. And now we identified shape B as a square, which is 5 meters by 5 meters. That's why we then combine the area of a rectangle and a square. So you say area is equal to length times width of A, because shape A is a rectangle, plus this time side times side of B, why? It is a square, that is side times side. They look alike. Then we go, area equals, this is 10 meters times 4 meters, that is for the rectangle, plus side times side, which is 5 meters times 5 meters, being a square. So the two sides, or the four sides, that is, are equal. Then you go 10 times 4, you get 40. Meter times meter, you get meter squared, that's 40 meters squared for that shape A, which is a rectangle. Then shape B is 5 meters times 5 meters, you get 25 meters squared. Now you're going to add 40 and 25, answer in meters squared, where 0 plus 5, you get 5, 4 plus 2, you get 6. So area equals 65 meters squared. So that's why sometimes people refer this shape to as a combined figure, because they normally combine two shapes of a rectangle and a square. Other instances or other examples you will find when it is actually a rectangle and another rectangle. If both are rectangles, you use the same formula, that's length and width of A plus length and width of B. But here, one is a rectangle, another one is a square, then you cannot use the same formula or the same formulae in finding different shape area. So A is a rectangle and the shape B is a square, where they have been combined together to make a six-sided polygon. So find the area of the shape above, or the figure, that's area of a rectangle plus area of a square. Remember, to maintain the units, they have been meters throughout, therefore you cannot use any centimeter anywhere. In so doing, you will be perfect in that number. Then we shall go to example number 4 today. Example number 4 today about length says, convert as instructed. Convert as instructed. Then let us see how instructed we are going to be. So part A, convert 5 meters to meters. Convert 5 meters to meters. Now I've gone to conversion of different metric units to others. So we then have to use KHDM DCM, memorized as King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk. King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk. Let's go together. King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk. When you know King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk, you never feel anything to do with converting one unit to another in length. But they actually mean kilometers, hectometers, decameters. Note that this capital D is decameters, this is meters, this is decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. We go together: kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and meters. Now, having known what they mean in terms of meters, then look at what you are concerned with. So you are normally given two units, one to be converted to the other. Here I've got kilometers to be converted to meters. Therefore, we put a 1 against K, which means kilometer, and write zeros up to where meters are. So this is hectometer, that's a 0, decameter, and meter. In that way, you have developed a fact that 1 kilometer, see 1K. I'm not meaning 1,000, please, I know you money. So I'm meaning kilometers, I'm still teaching kilometers, so that is length. So 1 kilometer, that's 1K, equals 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. When you have that fact without any cram work, you will be able to convert the said 5 meters in 5 kilometers into meters by just stating the fact you have developed up that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. What about 5 kilometers? You just multiply, because only 1 produces 1,000, then the 5 will be 5 times that 1,000. So say 5 times 1,000 meters, so the 5 kilometers will reflect a 5,000 meter journey. So in so doing, we shall have converted meters, so kilometers to meters. So whenever given kilometers, do the same. Write King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk, and then you'll be able to develop any fact about those metric units. Then go to part B. Part B of number 4 reads: convert 10,000 meters to kilometers. Remember, in A, we are converting kilometers to meters, and now the other way around is true. For part B, we say convert 10,000 meters to kilometers. Still write King Henry's daughter Mary drank cold milk, where I've got kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters. So we are concerned with meters and kilometers. Still write 1 against the K, which is a kilometer, then hectometer, write a 0. Decameter, this is capital D, please. Decameters, that is 0, until you reach the word meters, because we are concerned with meters and kilometers. So we stop there, and now we are converting from meters to kilometers. Take the other way around, that 1,000 meters are equivalent to 1 kilometer. What about 10,000 meters? That is 10,000 divided by 1,000. Answer in kilometers. Now you are going to cancel off the zeros. And actually the action of dividing by cancellation of zeros, division by 10. We say 1,000 divided by 10 get, 10,000 divided by 10 get 1,000. Divide by 10, that's 1,000 divided by 10, you get 100. So continue by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. Wherever you cancel off the zeros, please, you are dividing by 10. By 10 by 10, by 10 by 10, by 10 by 10. Never say by 0. You cannot divide by 0. 0 is not a person. So no one can be called a 0. So even if it's calling 0, never call them 0. They are human beings. Please ascertain their names and then call them by names. So say by 10 by 10, by 10 by 10, by 10 by 10. And don't just enjoy cancelling off the zeros. Please ensure the number of zeros you have cancelled off is the number you have here. 1, 2, 3 cancelled up, 1, 2, 3 cancelled up. So meaning the other one doesn't have any other 0 to cancel it by. So we have got 10 divided by 1. 10 divided by 1, which is a 10. So 10,000 meters are equivalent to 10 kilometers. In so doing, I've converted 10,000 meters into kilometers as opposed to part A, which was converting the other way around, kilometers to meters. Please learn either way, you will be perfect in that way. Then we go to part C, which tells you to convert 9 meters to centimeters this time. 9 meters to centimeters, still right. King Henry's daughter Mary drank all the milk, and now about meters and centimeters. So a meter is here, write a 1 against a meter. This is decimeter, write a 0. Then this is centimeter, you stop there. The fact is, 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters, alright? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. What about 9 meters? You are going to multiply 9 by 100 centimeters and get 900 centimeters that are equivalent to 9 meter journey. So it is as easy as that. But the moment you involve the fact from King Henry's daughter Mary drank all the milk, you will be able to answer any number about converting metric units. Then part B, which is the last example today, convert 14 actually. Convert 1,400 centimeters to meters. Convert 1,400 centimeters to meters. Still right, King Henry's daughter Mary drank all the milk. We are concerned about centimeters and meters. Right, 1 against meter, and then decimeter 0, and then centimeter. Stop there. Where 0 is, we are converting centimeters to meters. So 100 centimeters make 1 meter. Right, 100 centimeters are equivalent to 1 meter. What about 1,400 centimeters? So here we are going to divide by the fact that 100 centimeters make a meter. So you say 1,400 divided by 100 meters. Divide by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, remain with 14 divided by 1, which is a 14 meter journey. So 1,400 centimeters are equivalent to 14 meters. So doing, you'll be able to answer every number that is given to you about length at your level. So Teacher Katimbo, Richard, that has taught you this topic, length, mass, and capacity. In the next lesson, we shall look at mass and capacity for length has been done. So anything to do with length, please, you must be able to answer. If you haven't understood properly, still play back. You can download and then play back as many times as possible so that you understand, because everything has been exhaustively described here and explained to you. So as I said, I'm Teacher Katimbo Richard. For more information about what I've taught or about mathematics in general, call this Teacher Katimbo on 07572 33066. I repeat, 07572 33066. Remember, COVID is real. That's COVID-19. Please put on your mask wherever you go out in public. Otherwise, stay safe.